Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video. Now today, I think that boy 1090J done got exposed, boy. Oh boy. With that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. Make sure y'all boys like, comment, and subscribe. We on the road to 10K. Let's do it.
Snitching is one of the biggest crimes imaginable in both the streets and hip-hop culture. So when someone goes out of their way to make a career out of uncovering those who've committed this terrible offense, it's no surprise that they are seen as heroes by some and villains by others. But what happens when the snitch buster is also accused of being an informant himself? And does it lead to the empire they've built crumbling around them? It's your boy Luesta, and this is the...
Look, I ain't gonna cap. Before we even get into it, if he has told, which I know they said there was something weird going on, but if he did tell, bro, it does. But at the same time, they're gonna look at his skin color and say that it don't. And people still gonna watch his YouTube videos because he makes banger YouTube videos. I'm still gonna watch his YouTube videos because he makes bangers.
Story of 1090J, a YouTuber who made a career off exposing rappers who were snitches and eventually got exposed for the very same thing while he was in prison. But first, let's get you up to speed on how he became such a big deal in the first place. Born in Massachusetts, the content creator lesser known as Jake Cherry was just your average kid getting into some scrapes before he moved to Tampa, Florida. At that point, his life took a drastic turn when he became a rare example of a white boy joining the Bloods. From there, he set out on a mission to prove himself in ways that your typical gang member wouldn't have to, all because of his unique status.
Yeah, that was really like the only thing that I was around. It's not like you could pick from this gang and that gang. Where I was at, it was just mad bloods. So I kind of naturally went into that space, ended up getting brought over to a specific block, and it went how it went. People respect violence, so it's kind of like I feel like I had to do more than a lot of other people were doing. The specific person that I met though that brought me into the situation was mixed, so he wasn't really tripping off the race shit.
Sent to juvie when he was just 16 years old over a stolen gun, he was then sentenced to 3 years on a robbery charge where he began to learn the ins and outs of the prison system.
Okay. So I went to state prison when I was 18. As far as like the actual juvenile, the Department of Juvenile Justice, it was either 16 or 17 when I first went in there. They were trying to link me to an armed burglary, so I got hit with the possession of a stolen firearm, armed burglary, and I ended up beating the case because my co-defendant more or less took the rap in the case.
According to him, this led to a whole host of fights behind bars, and even a hit being placed on his head by the gangster disciples that led to Jake's face being slashed. But if you ask some people, Jake's time in prison went a little differently to the way he tells it. However, we'll get to that later in the video. Once he got out, Jake received 2 years of probation and moved back to Massachusetts. Free from gang life, he began to use his in-depth knowledge of the prison system and started making content on his own channel known as End of Sentence. Back then, he was just spreading awareness of his own experiences and raising awareness of what he had experienced inside.
This video right here is gonna be about how I was cut inside of prison.
But once he started to run out of his own stories, Jake built a name for himself from exposing others. Before long, he had his very own content niche where he not only covered the same gritty stories of inner city violence that we're used to hearing, but would also use any resource possible to expose alleged snitches in hip hop. And in doing so, he'd make himself one of the most hated figures in the culture among all of those rappers who had paperwork on file that they wish they could outrun. Beginning with regional MCs before working his way up to bigger names, 1090 Jake made himself a fully fledged career out of putting rappers on blast for their past indiscretion. Whether it was Spot 'em Got 'em, Boston Richie, Finesse 2 Times, or even Quality Control CEO PRP Thomas, 1090 Jake was putting everyone's business out there.
But look though, he gotta do certain things like that because look, every person to whatever you're doing has a good and a bad. Like example, I'm gonna take myself and then I'm gonna explain his, right? For me, there gonna be people always in the comment section saying, oh, reaction channels are stupid, reaction channels are this, you just stealing this person's content, this. When it's just like, bro, you gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch it. There's gonna be people who wanna watch it with me. I might pause it and say something, and I might pause it and talk about one point, but I missed something else that somebody in the comment section gonna tell me. Then I can come back and be like, oh, damn, that's right. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. It's not me just simply stealing somebody else's content. Because if it was that, it would be copyright strikes on all of these videos. And I wouldn't be able to make $1. Would I still do it? Yes, because I actually enjoyed this. I'm going to watch these videos anyways. And also, if you didn't know, there's revenue sharing. So if I make a video and somebody wants money from it and it's their content, I don't have a choice but to pay them. Everybody eats. It's more money in their pocket from people who probably would have never watched it anyways. But 1090 Jake, he's exposing the people who try to look down on people for telling. So for instance, you might have the Lil Baby and Gunna situation, or just like all these rappers in Gunna situation, where because Gunna took this certain plea deal and there were certain things on his plea deal that look shaky, we not rocking with him. He a snitch. But the dude who you're signed to and you're making money with, he told too. You gonna disown him? You ain't gonna disown him because you're making money off of him. You're making money with him. You ain't gonna disown him. You could. You should if you so street. But they ain't gonna do that. Now Spot him got him, that shit killed his career. I ain't gonna lie. Pop on it killed his career. Boston Richie, he makes good music. Good music is gonna outshine everything. Same for Gunna. You feel me? Like everybody knows Boston Richie told. Still listening to his music because he said his mama a gangbanger. He told on his friend or his aunt mama or something, but his music is good. Spot him got him just wasn't dropping good music.
Man has been left stained with the brush of being a potential cooperator ever since. But every time their paperwork came out in videos that racked up millions of views, the first thing they would do is try to discredit him. Just look at how Boston Richie was scrambling to cover up the interrogation video that 1090 Jake had posted.
One of the hottest young rappers in the streets right now who ran it up off of public housing. Got one of the hottest songs with Future right now. Also, his work with Lil Durk is now forced to stop his momentum to address snitching allegations. A man by the name of 1090 Jake recently released a video that shows Boston Richie in an interrogation room years back for nearly an hour. Richie is now explaining what happened. Apparently, this all centered around the death of his cousin. He said he was giving the police the runaround. He said it was a goose chase. Everybody know about it.
I ain't give a fuck about that shit, cause like my whole city know what's going on. My whole city already know like who I'm as a person.
Richie wants to know why fans would trust a guy like 1090 Jake anyway. A guy that ain't from the streets, but speaking on everybody's case when it comes to the streets.
Man, I know what happened.
The stuff that we value is stupid in the real world. You gotta think about it. You so gangster, you so tough, but you told. Somebody somewhere finds this information and finds a way to monetize it. Now all of a sudden, they the problem. No, you shouldn't have never told. If you want to be this big gangster, this, that, and the third, you should have never told. Now guaranteed, he probably never thought he was gonna become a rapper. So it really wouldn't matter. But this just goes to show you them skeletons that's in your closet will eventually come out no matter what it is, bro. Like, and then you see all these people like Ava Chris Tyson and Chris V, Kai Sinet's cameraman. I react to those videos. Go check them out. And stuff that they did years ago was coming out now. Bro, everything you do matters. Everything, bro. And if you gonna take anything from this video, pay attention, bro. The things that you have done in your past will come back to haunt you if you don't handle your situations correctly. Don't take the easy way out if you can manage. Handle your business.
We was there when this shit went down. I don't care about the internet got to say or what another nigga from out of a whole another city got to say, man. This some shit that I don't talk about them from niggas out my city probably one time. And the nigga on some shit like, man, we not talking about that shit. Like, we niggas, you ain't got to convince that you silent.
This wasn't even the only interview that Boston Richie would go on where he discussed the situation at length, which showed just how much it really affected him and his brand. To this day, it's still the main thing that hangs over his head in terms of controversy. From up-and-coming rappers to literal CEOs, no one was safe from 1090 Jake's brand and investigative journalism. Even when those accused branded him as a clout chaser, or in the case of 03 Greedo, who Jake accused from dealing with the feds, literally banished him from an entire city.
Me and him never spoke. He didn't say nothing disrespectful in the interview. He said it was fake. He said he never gave an interview with the DEA. Mind you, all the paperwork I went over in the video came from them. So then I made the request myself to the county and I got the full affidavit. And you know, I got banned from LA by the Grapes right after that video. So I flew out right after and did an interview on No Jumper. And I brought the affidavit, the copy of it that I got from the county, and everything matched up. He's saying he's gonna get the video. I requested the video. They said it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if he's ever gonna get that, but I don't know.
But he's basically denying it.
Yeah, he's denying it, and he's got a lot of people that are backing him on it. Like, oh, that doesn't count.
Why does it not count?
I don't know. They be making exceptions for people. What I heard was because it's not court paperwork, it's sheriff department paperwork, it doesn't count. But what doesn't make any fucking sense.
So I guess he's saying that he told this to the cops, but the cops turn it over anyways. Anything you said can and will be used against you.
That is every single one of those documents would be in the court case. It would just be photocopied and stamped with a court number. So whether you request it from the courts or the county, it's gonna be the same fucking thing.
Suddenly racking up foes in hip-hop while making a bag all at the same time, Jake was well aware of the potential dangers that came with exposing those with a lot to lose.
When you make this type of content and you're involved in hip-hop in itself, it becomes dangerous and you make more enemies than you know of. You don't know whose story you've talked about before, and they're just like, you know what, I'm so mad, but I'm not gonna go after none of them that did it. I'm gonna go after this kid that just talked about it.
But that wasn't the only hurdle he faced, as given the fact that he was a white guy from Massachusetts discussing predominantly black artists, there were some who felt
But we can't get mad at people for finding a way to monetize us when none of us are doing it. All these Instagram pages that y'all see who be promoting rappers and this, that, and the third, how many of those are really ran by us and that people pay attention to? Very close to none. The biggest one probably would be Say Cheese. And even then, y'all hate on Say Cheese. So it's just like, find a way to get some money out of whatever you doing, bro. I feel like the things that we value is just stupid sometimes. And with that being said, it's value that you can catch a case and not tell on somebody. And that's like the ultimate stamp. But you'll cross that line and do it and just hope that it never comes out. This is a new generation. We don't gotta fly to where you caught your case at and spend 6 months waiting on some paperwork, bro. Everything is online. It's a new generation, bro. That's why you can't say nothing. In any interrogation room, I don't know nothing, give me my lawyer. As soon as you ask for your lawyer, they have to end the interrogation because nothing can be used against you once you request your lawyer. They're not even allowed to talk to you no more. If you want to be a street dude, if you want to be a stand-up guy, be that. But you can't teeter on it. You can't even make it look like you was telling. There's no reason for you even to go down to the police department. Stand on your 10.
Comfortable with him being the one who decided what rappers should suddenly be outcasts in the culture. And over time, people like Charleston White made this well known.
How he getting them? How is he getting interrogation tape from the police department? How is he getting this? The media can't get this. The new Channel 8 channel, how is he getting this? And why is it they just giving it to a white man only to come destroy black people? This white man got the power to destroy black people, and we eating out the palm of his hands because he can come expose our snitches. He ain't exposing no white folks. And they ain't giving him no white interrogation tapes, or the bikers, or the skinheads. Who doing this to us? Who?
We don't value that though. We don't value that, bro. We value that guy's downfall. Like I said, Spot him, got him. His career is destroyed. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, bro. He in and out of jail now, trying to find a way to do what he do. He got the snitch jacket on him, and he still got ops that he got to deal with. So you got to keep a gun. And now I think he got a switch charge. But he told. And him telling exposed it. So this is the thing I would say, which makes this tricky, bro. What he's saying is true. How is he getting things that the media can't get? How is he getting things that these people can't get with these big legal teams? That is fishy itself. But when you say death to all snitches, when you say every snitch gotta get exposed, when you say we live by the code, die by the code, and you not living by the code, is he wrong for pointing that out? I don't necessarily think so. But at the same time, we as a people need to deal with these situations in a proper manner. But are we gonna do that? No. We gonna treat people like Spartan Ghana. We're gonna do people like Pop Hunter, who, and I don't even think 1090 Jake exposed Pop Hunter, but he might have. Pop Hunter, he told something that he seen when he was 13. He wasn't in the streets. He wasn't gang banging. What y'all do? He had the hottest song ever, Corvette. He was going crazy. They snitching paperwork came out. Uzi told him, take that song down. Don't mention my name with this guy. He's a rat. And now look at him. I ain't seen him since.
And why is it a white face that sits over the tapes that decides who we see and we biting on it? Who is this white boy? And why is he so into black snitches?
Why are we so into it?
Why does it matter to this cracker? I hate him and I don't even know him. I just know he a cracker white boy. And I hate them kind of white folks. I don't care how credible his information is. We don't want to hear it from no white boy to come destroy our kind. He destroying number of black people with this credible information that he obviously is getting from the police.
With comments like real talk, no lies told, and Charleston just destroyed Jake's career, you would think that he was done after someone like Charleston White, a well-respected figure in the hip-hop space, discredited his whole brand. But in Jake's opinion, this was just a natural response to the fact that he was the one who managed to turn this kind of content into a viable business.
As far as who gets the profit, it's the motherfucker that figures it out. We could all stop right now. That doesn't mean you're gonna take off. You might not even be good at this shit. They might not even like you. They watch you because they like you. They watch me because they like me. It is what the fuck it is. Because people will say me and you are only succeeding at this shit because we're white and there's some big fucking conspiracy and they're getting blackballed. It never ends.
Yeah, definitely.
Besides, it's not like everyone was against him. In fact, some people actively supported what he did, and his reputation for outing informants led to him being shouted out by Lil Durk on the track Eyes Red.
Beat his body, he the man, even though the witness took the stand. 1090 Jake on the ground, black snitching short to the fan.
He even got the seal.
See, we value the guy who caught a case and didn't tell. We value the guy who went to jail and did 20 years on a body. We value the guy who killed the dude who killed his best friend because he felt like we value the stupid shit. This is what we value. So then you got to think and you got to really understand. Who do you think more people are going to listen to and pay attention to? Charleston White or Lil Durk? People look at Charleston White for the shock value, even though his message is correct. His message should be what you're trying to preach. Don't crash out, homie. Don't let the color of somebody's skin tone stop them from helping you. Don't let these people trick you out of your spot. Don't go kill that person that you was just beefing with on Instagram. Leave it alone and go get you some money. Go take care of your family. That's what he preaching. That's what he pushing. At the same time, he'll say, yeah, I'll snitch. I'll tell, I'll do this, I'll do that. Because if it ever comes down to it and it happened, he'll say, I told you. Versus you being a rapper and saying, F all snitches, death to all snitches. If you snitch, I can't mess with you. This, that, and the third, and then go tell. They want to say, oh, we the mob, we value it, we mob ties, we this, that, and the third. The mob told on each other. And y'all don't value snitches. So why y'all want to mimic and imitate the mob? Make it make sense.
of approval from some of the most notoriously opinionated figures in the culture, like Boosie.
1090 Jake said like 3 of the people in the XXL freshman issues are snitches and have paperwork. Right. You know what I'm saying? More and more and more and more and more. Like paperwork is popping out of the woodwork, and it's just like crazy.
It's just bad, bro. Appreciate 1090 Jake too, bro. Like,
you fuck with him?
Yeah, I fuck with him, bro. If it wasn't for him, bro, and if he was a different color, it'd be all gravy.
Oh man, people more scared of him than me these days.
Hey, I'm grateful for 1090 Jake, bro. I smile every time.
You gotta get him on the show, man.
A concern for anyone with skeletons in their closet, Jake was getting a real reputation as authority on all things paperwork and street code. But he's not just about exposing rappers. At the height of his power, he was clearing artists when they were falsely accused, even if he felt viewers just focused on the negative.
They tried to say thug, snitched, or whatever. I did a video on that, and his sister thanked me. The thing is, when I dropped that video, everybody assumed I had something negative to say. All the comments and, you know, it hit all the blogs, everybody's talking cash shit, but his actual sister is like, yo, I appreciate you for clearing his name on that. You know, so a lot of people, they don't even want to see what it is. They just have an opinion and hate on it.
Building an empire out of being the man who could tell you if someone really told or if it was all just hearsay, Jake really looked unstoppable for a brief moment. But unfortunately for him,
your biggest ass, no, what was the, it's a quote, it's like your best something or biggest something could also be your biggest downfall. He got rich off of exposing snitches, but he probably told too.
those he had tried to take down were now going to savor the news that in his past, Jake might have crossed the line into snitching territory himself. In September of 2023, stories began to emerge that Jake wasn't quite the hardline anti-snitch campaigner that he made himself out to be. According to reports, 1090 Jake had supposedly handwritten a letter about an altercation when he was behind bars, where he seemed to be telling on a fellow inmate.
Paperwork has surfaced of 1090 Jake allegedly writing a handwritten statement against another inmate while he was locked up. How do we feel about this?
And look,
Jake tried to do
look. On top of that, right? Now he gets his karma. Now he has to figure out, he's in the same situation he was putting other people in. It's good and there's bad to everything that you do. And it's not just what you do onto others, because had this paperwork never been a thing, he would be all good and gravy. But people are not going to stop watching 1090 Jake. It's a fact.
Control for his brand by hopping on Instagram Live with Remo from No Jumper to try and set the record straight about the allegations, where he claimed that he had actually covered this in old videos.
I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody really gets out of confinement. If you get a DR, yeah, pretty much not gonna get out of there.
Yeah.
So I wrote that shit up like, look, ain't none of this shit happened, none of this shit's true. I had to sit in the room handcuffed while they beat the out of both of the boys. And even though this is dude I'm at war with, and he just fired me up, I don't want to see nobody get flipped like that, you know? I'd rather do it to you than watch the police do it. It's from 4 years ago, bro. Breaking down this whole...
The comments to the video showed that people were not buying it. Nah, we don't want to hear it. Just like you be doing our people. A rat is a rat, white or black. Cat. No explaining yourself. Bottom line, you a snitch, goofball. But one thing about making a lot of enemies is that when your own downfall is taking place, they'll pile on. So, where Jake had previously grilled someone like Wack 100 over the fact that he had been in the vicinity of a few snitches before, like Tekashi and Skinny from the 9, it meant that the minute that he was the one under the microscope, they were ready to go and try to wreck his whole reputation.
Running this snitch paperwork, right?
Right.
So I was like, cool, we're gonna run that. But let's talk about your snitch paperwork. Could we go over yours, the one when you were telling?
So what do you think he told on? Are you talking about the broken window thing that he told the cops that it was somebody else?
He gave statements. You know, I got a little research team over there on Clubhouse. They put it all together. I think if he told, he should just say, listen, I'm king rat, and one rat knows a rat. And people will respect that. He like, I'm exposing rats. So then he takes away the attack.
Who do you think he told on?
What you mean, the gentleman in the paperwork?
Suddenly, videos titled things like, "This new leaked paperwork could be the end of 1090 Jake's career," were being published, and the tables were firmly turned on Jake. This presented a real problem, as now, it meant that Jake wasn't seen as a vital voice, but just another internet personality with a shady past. And now he's had to defend himself about it in every interview, since alongside posting a 40-minute video where he went over every allegation in an attempt to dead them once and for all.
You were actually accused.
Yeah.
Of snitch.
Again. They're not giving up.
So paperwork surfaced of 1090 Jake allegedly snitching on an inmate while he was in jail. Accusers claimed he spoke on another inmate fighting in a handwritten statement. The end of the statement also said, "Please help me," addressed to the warden, as he expressed that he was threatened, blackmailed, and assaulted and needed help.
Yo.
So you're familiar with the situation?
Yeah, I'm dead. I was mad soft in prison. Yeah, so everybody said I wrote a statement. What I wrote was a grievance, right?
Okay.
So anybody that's familiar with being incarcerated, a grievance is basically like a complaint. So I filed a grievance. Now I wrote in the grievance, these CEOs are trying to f with me. They trying to do this, they trying to do that, set me up, beat me, whatever. I'm trying to get the out of here. The CEOs are lying on me. My grievance had really nothing to do with the situation other than they lied in the situation. Nothing I wrote in the grievance could be used against another inmate because I named him they know what happened. We already got found guilty for this. So nothing I said could be used against him. But they try to put it out there like I wrote a statement against him. That's what got him sent to confinement, this, that, and the third. So the internet went crazy.
Besides the fact that the story devalued his content, another issue was that everyone aside from his own fans just weren't accepting his attempts to bail himself out of the hole that he found himself in. Crazy how it's double standards when it's you involved. Moving the goalposts when it's you. Dude is a rat. Left without the untouchable reputation he once had, his critics were now looking at his whole operation sideways.
Well, he snitched. That's how you know how to expose. He snitched in jail, wrote a grievance on it.
He talked about that. He said he didn't snitch.
But they got paperwork said he did.
Yeah.
If you write any information, that's telling.
Didn't he give information on a CO?
Telling is telling, whether you tell on a CO or not. If you tell on a CO, you'll tell on a crook because you got a nature of telling. Telling is telling. You don't tell on nobody if you don't tell. A CO, a cop. The crooks don't go file complaints on cops. They take the mistreatment and wrongdoing. I'm a crook.
Okay.
Crooks don't get treated fairly. Crooks don't get rewards. Crooks don't get benefits, hard times, consequences, and repercussions.
This period is where things really
Facts! That's a fact. That's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. I like that though, Charleston. I like that. That's why I say, bro, I value Charleston White. He's funny, bro, but he does what he's supposed to do.
Go south for Jake, because rather than these comments going away, they've now become a permanent part of the narrative around him, putting a question mark next to basically everything he does. And as Charleston White going at him wasn't bad enough, he's even had one of the biggest lawyers in hip-hop going after him. Lawyer Bradford Cohen, an attorney who's represented stars like Drake, Travis Scott, Vanilla Ice, DeAndre Baker, Polo G, DMX, Dennis Rodman, YNW Melly, and others. Bradford also had a close professional and personal affinity with Kodak Black. During his time exposing prison business, Jake called out Yak for not only collaborating with 6ix9ine, but also for allegedly being placed in protective custody while he was in prison. And eventually, Bradford clapped back to say that Jake had ulterior motives. This story is strange. 1090 Jake wanted an interview with Kodak about his feature on a record. When he didn't do the interview, this guy came out and said that somehow Kodak told on jail guards. When I filed a lawsuit against guards, which is part of the basis for the commutation, for failing to allow Kodak access to religious leaders and abuse, that was telling. Meanwhile, I just got DMs from a person with docs where 1090 Jake gave a sworn statement as a witness in a shooting and gave a statement to police about other individuals. Once again, Jake tried to brush this under the carpet and left a comment on the post stating, "You a lawyer, request that shooting case and see nobody existed in that case. Talk about why Kodak ain't come out of his cell." Hit with accusations that he is a snitch every time he tries to comment on what a rapper is embroiled in, it seems less than coincidental that these days, he plans to pivot his content into different territory.
Well, like I said in the beginning, snitching is pretty much over with. Early on in my YouTube career, and I mean like before 50,000 subscribers, I did interviews, and I feel like I want to tap back into that realm. You know what I mean? I feel like I followed in the footsteps of, I say, academics, finding a way of becoming hated through YouTube. And now that I've done that, I'd like to follow in the footsteps of others, even yourself, and establish myself in a different way within hip hop, and just bring some new things to the table, shed light on some things that I feel I can bring forth, like the Florida culture, the prison culture, bringing on a lot of people whose stories haven't been heard. And I think that's the direction that I want to take on my channel. I want to get away from the snitching.
Looking to become a more conventional content creator, some of his fans wonder if he's burned too many bridges to be sitting there doing interviews with elite level rappers. What Jake had going for him is that people love to see other people's lives in worse shambles than their own. He's made enemies. To make matters worse, it was his tendency to—
Damn! That hit hard! And it's true. People love to see the downfall. And for a rapper, it's 3 possible things that can end your career immediately. Being a snitch, being exposed as a gay man, or going broke. Those 3 things, and people are going to flock to your downfall more than to your come up. It's crazy. But look though, this is what I want to say. If as a people, if you're going to stand on it, stand on it. If that's the case, because I feel like a majority, who cares about the exposing the snitches and this and the third? It's our community. We're the people who sit right here watching this content. So if y'all care so much, stop watching the content. How's he getting 300,000 views in one day on hip hop culture? Nobody really cares too much about snitches. You see 6ix9ine doing great. Well, I don't want to necessarily say he's doing great, but he's doing hundreds of millions of views doing Hispanic music. They don't care about him telling. He told on us. He ain't telling on none of them. He told on us. It's the map.
Find dirt on artists that was recently referenced in one of the biggest rap beefs of our time. On Drake's failed attempt to save face in his feud against Kendrick with the Heart Part 6, Drizzy referenced Jake as a way to clear himself of any wrongdoing by saying that if there were dark secrets lurking, he would have found them.
Where's the paperwork of the cabinet is filed in? 1090 Jake would've took all the walls down. The streets would've had me hiding out in a small town.
At the moment, 1090 Jake as learning the dangers of being synonymous was one thing. Back when he had no allegations of snitching against his name, this wasn't so much of a problem. But now that he's got the same stain on him that he's administered to so many rappers, it means that his content can't possibly hit the same for most viewers. Even when he hit 1 million subscribers, it was still the first thing a lot of social media said to diminish his accomplishment. And now that he's trying to move away from it, he really just has to hope that fans will still rock with him in the same way they did when he had his unique selling point as the man who could ruin your favorite artist's reputation at a moment's notice. And not to say it's really done too much damage to his channel, as he still consists
400K in one day, 275K 10 days ago, 300K 2 weeks ago, 200K 2 weeks ago, 500K 9 days ago. Bro, his numbers is
posting videos to this very day, and his views are still pretty solid, doing around 3 million views a month at the time of this recording. And recently, bro even snitched on someone who was close to him. So in a lot of ways, he is now facing the repercussions of a culture he contributed to.
What you mean he just told on his friend? See, look, bro, and this is what we say, bro, we don't stand on nothing. Nothing gets stood on, so how can y'all be mad when something happens? He's like, man, look, even if he comes out today and say he told, what are people honestly gonna do? Nothing. They're not gonna do nothing. They gonna just brush it under the rug and keep it moving. You feel me? Because it is 1090J. So with that being said, y'all get in the comment box. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this video. Make sure y'all boys like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Key checking out, and I'm going.